Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my respectful obeisance. Good wishes to come from the Charles Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna,
Thank you.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Good morning.
Yeah, Maharaj. You're welcome, Maharaj.
We start now?
Yes, Maharaj.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Vihara.
Hare Krishna Maharaj,
Paramahamsa, Parivajagacharya, Stotarasita, Shishima, Divine Graces, Compound Acharya, Jagat Guru, Sisi Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada, Paramahamsa, Parivajagacharya, Stotarasita, Shishima, Divine Grace. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananda Gaudiya Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Harikatha Ki Jai. Thank you, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gopal Krishna Shampu Radha Kunda Giri Paravadan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Mathura Dham Ki Jai. Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Jamuna Maya Ki Jai. Ganges Maya Ki Jai. Tulasi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Sanare Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Ekai Go Bhakta Mahanandi. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories to assembled devotees. All glories, all glory, all glory to Shishi Guru, Shri Gauranga.
Haribo.
42 sessions. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narotam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Nashtapai Swapatri Sudyam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatutamā Sluke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtiti Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnanandjana Salakaya Chakshuramilitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Mano Vistam Sapitam Dena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Gurun Sri Yuta Parakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnava Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Sajivam Sadvitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Paran Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakan Vikancha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pite Gopisa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namasute Taprakanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visavana Suti Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Bhanta Kalpataru Vyascha Vipasanu Vacha Patitanam Pavinyo Vaishnavyo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Sivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rantava Sima Bhagavatam Jai Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Hare Krishna. Continue our discussion from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9. The passing away of Bhishma Dev. So we'll continue from text 30. 30 what? What did we end yesterday? What did we end yesterday? So we'll continue from text 35. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Who is hearing?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
All right, thank you. Text 35. Sapadi Saktivachuli Sanya Madhye Nija Parayo Balayo Ratam Nivesha Sita Vati Parasai Kayu Pakshna Pitva Vati Parata Sakirati Mamastu. In obedience to the command of his friend, Lord Sri Krishna entered the arena of the battlefield of Kurukshetra between the soldiers of Arjuna and Duryodhana. While he shortened the lifespans of the opposite party by his merciful glance. This was done simply by his looking at the enemy. Let my mind be fixed upon that Krishna. Vishwadev had prayed to Krishna to give him prema. which Lord Krishna have done. Let me have pure prema, Lord Krishna, without desire for result. For the friend of Arjuna, Jaya Sake, who has served the body which is desired by all persons in the upper, middle, and lower planets. That is Lord Krishna. Which is clothed in garment golden in the sun's rays. I saw that intense yellow garment from his upper and lower clothes, sparkling in the sun's rays, as he stood on the chariot of Arjuna. My thoughts take the form of a prayer to have this prema for the most beautiful Krishna as a charioteer of Arjuna. This Madevi is praying. In this text 35, he continued, "Oh, Achyuta, please station my chariot between the two armies so I can view the commencement of the war. Those situated with the desire to fight, and I can see my companions in battle." This was from Bhagavad Gita 121. Krishna was requested by Arjuna to take him to the battle, to the middle of the armies. And Krishna accepted that and took Arjuna to the middle. Krishna didn't just take Arjuna to the middle of the battlefield. Krishna took him directly and stationed him right in the front of Krishna and Dronacharya. That's what Krishna did. And he had something in mind. So Bhishma Dev is remembering that. From Bhagavad Gita 21 to 25. The Lord diminished the duration of life of the opposite party by his merciful glance. That was the reason why Krishna was there. It is said that all the fighters who assembled on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained salvation by personally seeing the Lord at the time of death. Why? They fought, all the soldiers who fought at the battlefield, majority of them fought out of duty, not out of enmity towards the Pandavas. It was out of duty. They did. The statutory responsibility is to fight. That is their duty. Only few of them fought out of enmity, the Kauravas. They fought just because they wanted the king. And they hated the Pandavas. Therefore, they were fighting for that. The majority fought out of duty. Therefore, they left the body in a battle on the battlefield in the presence of the Supreme Vasita God. It is very auspicious. Very auspicious. Therefore, he is diminishing the duration of life of Arjuna's enemy. Does not mean that he was partial to the cause of Arjuna. Actually, he was merciful to the opposite party because they would not have attained salvation by dying at home. In the ordinary course of life, here was a chance to see the Lord at the time of death, and those attain salvation from the material life. Therefore, the Lord is all good. That is the point. For Krishna is all good. All good. Those who are very, very, very fortunate to be killed by Krishna are fortunate. Those who not directly killed by Krishna, like the demons, but in the particular crusader who left the body seeing of Krishna, they were also fortunate. So while Krishna is fighting for Arjuna and his party, at the same time, he is favoring the opposite party. That is the absolute nature of Lord Krishna. He is not partial to anyone. He does his duty perfectly and according to the vision of Kunti Devi. She said Lord Krishna is never partial. The so-called partiality of Lord Krishna is due to what? Natural intercourse, social intercourse. Social intercourse. Not because Krishna is partial. If Krishna is partial, he wouldn't have benefited. He would have died in another way, in a very miserable way, they will go to hell. But even though they are not all of them are fully devoted devotees of Krishna, they have the fortune to leave their body in the presence of Krishna because of the mercy of Arjuna. Yesterday we were discussing how the mercy of Krishna is not what Krishna is with the devotees. So because of Arjuna, or the Pandavas, they are favored. So Krishna is all good. And whatever he does is for everyone's good. Apparently, it was for the victory of Arjuna, his intimate friend. But factually, it was for the good of Arjuna's enemies. Such are the transcendental activities of the Lord. And whoever understands this also gets salvation after quitting his material body. The Lord does not wrong. The Lord does no wrong in any circumstance because he is all good at all times. That is the conclusion. He is all good at all times because absolute nature. So everything from him is beneficial for everyone. Everything Krishna
Hare Krishna. Okay. Sorry. Just go on now, Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Maharaj. I think maybe network, Maharaj is having some network challenge. I think the network flipped and smooth. Maharaj is off the line. We'll just continue Bhajan while Maharaj comes back. Okay. Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
Sorry for the
It's network,
Sure.
Maharaj.
I've changed the network, so this one will not come.
Okay. Thank you, Maharaj.
So we're looking at the Bhismadev appreciating of Krishna for his transcendental nature. And whatever he does, it is good for everyone. Even if we don't see it, of course, we will not see it. And the condition level will not see it. Only a highly elevated soul will see that Krishna is good in all circumstances. Whatever he does is all good. A conditioned soul will see that Krishna is good if fulfilling all my material desires, then Krishna is good. A conditioned soul will not see that if Krishna takes away my material desires and give me Prema Bhakti, a conditioned soul will not see that as mercy, as blessing, especially for third world. Will not see that. Only highly elevated soul will see that Krishna's activities are all auspicious, are all very good. And whatever he does, it is wonderful. Therefore, we will appreciate the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is actually his pure Srimad Bhagavatam. If you crush me under your feet, who will like that? Who will like that? If you crush me or trample me, you are still my worshipful Lord. Who will accept that? Which conditions will accept that? Huh? How long would our love for somebody last if the person chastises us, rebuke us, and punishes us? How long would our relationship with that person last? That I love you so much, I love you, you are so dear to me, you are very important to me. How long would that statement last if the person is always kicking our head, kicking our face? Huh? How long would that go? Even if I tolerate you for a moment because you are my superior, even if I tolerate you for a moment because you are superior to me, in my heart, I'm just waiting for the opportunity to revenge. But mine, I'm thinking how to retaliate. I'm planning seriously how to revenge. That's condition show. So the condition show would not be able to see Krishna's costlessness in a divine way. We'll see it as devil's work. Only a pure devotee, not just a pure devotee, one who is on the level of prayer, who is relishing the different levels of prayer. Only such a devotee will appreciate. No, Krishna is a dealing which does not look materially wonderful. As Lisava Padaratam, Pinastumam, and there's some Karatu Harotuva. Haram. Crushing means to crush. Who will prefer, who will like that, who will consider that to be mercy? Crush a person. Even one who can be friends for years and years and years, even just one word, you can destroy that. I will never consider you a friend anymore. I will not consider you a favorable person. I will not consider you as somebody very dear. You become an enemy just for one word, just one word. Here we're seeing Bhismadev is appreciating of Krishna. being equal to all living entities, that even those who are considered to be Arjuna's enemies, they are favored by Lord Krishna. Then one can ask, if it is true, why Arjuna fought? If he is a pure devotee on that level, why did he fight the battle of etc.? Why did this Maharaj kill so many people to sit on the throne? As himself explained, Dhira was already ruling very nicely, and everything is going on nicely. Everybody was peaceful. There was no killing. But for my sake, just for me to take the kingdom, I have to kill so many people. So why Arjuna fought? If you don't hate somebody, if you're not angry with somebody, can you fight the person? If you don't hate the person, fighting is a pleasure, and that is a sport. By just enjoying each other. Like Krishna and the cowhead boys, they fought every day. None of them were fighting to beat Krishna, to defeat Krishna, to kill Krishna like Kamsa. All of them were fighting to give Krishna pleasure, just like Bhishma did. He fought Arjuna seriously because we were looking for Krishna, to get Krishna's blessing. That was not due to enmity. That was due to prema, to give Krishna this satisfaction of chivalry. So, why Arjuna fought when he is such an exalted devotee? He can be crushed and he doesn't care. He can be denied, he doesn't care. He can be elevated or demoted, he doesn't care. Why did he fight? Why Arjuna fought and killed so many people? Even when his own son was killed, Abhimanyu, Arjuna was depressed. He was depressed and took a vow. I'll kill Dhira tomorrow. I'll kill him tomorrow to revenge. So tell me, why did Arjuna fight? Did you understand my question?
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Because it's the will of the Lord. The Lord desires it to happen that way. So Arjuna is just fulfilling the Lord's wishes.
Arjuna did not fight because he wanted the kingdom. He didn't fight because he hated Dhira. He didn't fight because his position had been denied. Therefore, he wants to revenge, to kill his opponents. I can get my property back. That was not the reason Arjuna fought. Arjuna fought out of duty. The Krishna wanted him to fight. As a devotee cannot refuse service. That's one of the signs of a devotee. A servant cannot refuse the order from the master. So the prime duty of a servant is to respond to the need of the master. Therefore, it is said in the Bhagavatam, Sukadeva Goswami is reading the Bhagavatam. A disciple should live in the ashram only for the benefit of the guru, which is the opposite for some of us. A disciple stays in the ashram only for the benefit of the guru. And he does that by going out every day to go and collect. And whatever he collects, he gives completely to people. Yesterday we were talking about not even living in the ashram that we give everything to people. A householder is responsible to give 50% of his earnings to Krishna. And we didn't see someone who is doing it. One day Bhanavan said he's doing it, and we're going to go and check. We're going to visit the Bhanavan and check. Look at the record. Are you keeping a record there, or you're just keeping a record in your mind? Madhavan Prabhu? You have record there, or you just in the mind as transcendental?
Well, we are trying. We have records. We have record.
Okay, so I'm coming to check. Yeah, 50%. That's the only one I want to do. That's it. I'm not coming to visit you. I'm just coming to see. Yeah, see that's how selfish I am. I'm just coming to see 50% in the record. So I can use that to preach to others. But you should go and see the exemplary nature of Madhavan Prabhu. He's giving 50% of his earning to Krishna. So he qualified to have the mercy of Krishna. Yes. A disciple should live in the ashram. A disciple should accept the spiritual master only for the benefit of the spiritual master. That is what the Bhagavatam. And the purpose of our hearing is to know what we're supposed to do and doing it as it's supposed to be. But we are not hearing, and therefore we don't do what we're supposed to do. We do opposite, which is very, 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 very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. A devotee should not live a life. Devotees should live a life as approved in the scripture, approved by the Guru, approved by the sadhus. That's a devotee, as a disciple. So we should follow the footsteps of Bhismadev to appreciate Lord Krishna in whatever he's doing, because he's absolute. He's absolute. He's absolute. Do we have any example of Krishna doing activity which is externally look very bad, but it is good for the people? Do we have any example of that in our scripture, our acharyas? So Krishna is doing something which looks very bad, which doesn't seem like a blessing, but actually it's a blessing. Do we have an example? Do we have any in our scripture? Some activity which Krishna performed. One would think this is very bad. This is not a blessing, but actually it's a blessing. At the end, do we see? Have any record? Or you just again saying, we're just talking. Nothing like that happens. Yes, Madhavan. Go ahead. You are still muted. All right.
Okay. In the scripture, it was said that sometimes if Krishna wants to give somebody special favor, he will withdraw all his material properties, whatever, all the material things. So eventually, he has to be completely dependent on Krishna.
Very good.
Which is special favor.
Thank you very much. Any example? That is general philosophy. Do we have an example?
Hare Krishna, Gurudev.
Hare Krishna.
Jai. We saw in Lord Krishna dancing with the gopis, which materially looked like he's dancing with other women. And it is said that in their previous life, they were sages who had desired to have close pastime with the Lord. Then Krishna's killing the demons also. Materially, it looks very bad. He killed so many demons. But at the end, he liberated them. It was a blessing to them.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
I think the example of Haridas Thakur being beaten in 22 marketplaces serves as an example here. Externally, it's looked as being punished for being a devotee, but at the end, it is for the purpose of glorifying Srila Haridas Thakur.
Very good. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. That's nice. Do we remember that the Papa lost his wife, lost his children, lost his business? Do we remember that? Prabhupada, wife? So, I want tea, not you. Prabhupada say, you want tea or you want me? No, it's tea I want, not you. They say, Mahabharata what? A woman who has stayed with him for years. No, tea, coffee, chai. There's tea in there. I want tea, not you. The children, company, business closed. Even when he took another appointment to work under somebody, a lot of cases. None of the workers like him, especially the managers who were there before Prabhupada came. None of them were happy. They were reporting him and planning against one of his other god brothers. Were the god brothers. All of them against him. So Prabhupada was completely penniless. Completely penniless. This is a successful businessman. Everything collapsed. There are no money. Even to start the Krishna consciousness, there was no money. No money. Not only money, no friend. Even for him to print Back to Godhead magazine. At that time, everything was extremely, very, very cheap. Very, very cheap. But Papa didn't have money to buy paper to print it. He had to collect the paper on credit. To go and print. Take some, go and sell. Make money, then go and pay the print. So Krishna took everything away from him, which is really like, what is this? But what happened at the end? What was the result of what was the result at the end? What the result we have after this so-called misfortune of Prabhupada? What was the result of that? Can you hear me?
Yes, Maharaj, he was glorified at the end. He became
glorified.
the worst.
Glorified. How Prabhupada is glorified?
He became known all over the world as the best devotee of the Lord, who was able to touch every nook and cranny of the world with Bhakti.
So the whole universe recognized Prabhupada as a pure devotee of Krishna, pure representative of Krishna. Even non-devotees, looking at Prabhupada's book alone, they appreciate, this man, he tried. Respected all over the world, glorified all over the world, honored and worshipped all over the world. He's the founder and acharya of the International Society of Krishna Consciousness. This one, the founder and acharya. He has a title which no one has ever gotten in the line of Vaishnava culture. That's Prabhupada. He's honored. Now he's a billionaire, right? He's a billionaire. He owns properties all over the world, all over the universe. The whole universe owns properties. And it's still glorified till today. Look at all the heroes. Who is talking about Hitler today? We're talking about who we talking about all these people? Eh? Well, so the Prabhupada is talked about every moment and for eternity. Yes. Go everywhere. Can you count the number of the Bhakti Vrisha all over the world? Namahata all over the world, and ISKCON temple all over the world, and yes, Ram Prakash is an empowered servant of Krishna. Yeah? Look at the devotees all over. There are millions of people who accepted reincarnation because of Prabhupada. Millions of people who accepted karma because of Prabhupada. There are also millions of people who are now vegetarians, who are not practicing Krishna consciousness because of Prabhupada. It's a glory. And now unlimited glory is a house on the side. So Bhishma Devi is appreciated. Bhishma Devi fondly remembered Krishna. His shawl covering his shoulders dropped to the ground. The chariot wheels upraised. I angrily charged him for having threatened Arjuna. Text 36. When Arjuna was seemingly polluted by ignorance upon observing the soldiers and commanders before him on the battlefield, the Lord eradicated his ignorance by delivering transcendental knowledge. May his lotus feet always remain the object of my attraction. Yes. As it was evident from the battlefield of Kurukshetra, all the executive heads of both parties, like Drona, Bhishma, Arjuna, and Dhira, were not sleeping. All of them were actual participants in the fight, which was selected to be executed at a place away from the civil residential quarters. This means that the innocent citizens were immune from all effect of fighting between the rivals royal parties. The citizens had no business in seeing what was going to happen during such fighting. They were to pay 1/4 of their income to the ruler, whether he be Arjuna or Dhira, or the commanders of the parties. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, we were standing face to face, and Arjuna saw them with great compassion and lamented that he was to kill his kinsmen in the battlefield for the sake of empire. He was not at all afraid of the giant military phalanx presented by Dhira, but as a merciful devotee of the Lord, the renunciation of worldly things was natural for him. As a merciful devotee of Lord Krishna, the renunciation of worldly things was natural for him, and thus he decided not to fight for worldly possessions. But this was due to a poor form of knowledge, and therefore it is said here that his intelligence became polluted. How is that? Is it not the nature of a devotee to be merciful? Is it not the nature of a devotee to be merciful, to be very kind, to be very compassionate? Are all these not the qualities of a devotee? Is not the quality of a devotee to renounce worldly things and be attached to Krishna? Is not the quality of a devotee that Arjuna possesses? Yes, all these are wonderful qualities of a devotee, and Arjuna has all of them is exhibiting them. But the point the Krishna is trying to make here, the Prabhupada is presenting before all of us, that but this was due to a forefront of knowledge. And therefore, it is said here that his intelligence became polluted. How is Arjuna's intelligence polluted? By being compassionate, by being merciful, by having to renounce all worldly things. Is the teachings about Gita, Raga, Baya, Kroda, Mam. Yeah. Is it not the recommendation of the scripture that Arjuna has followed, that it has all these qualities? Yes, they are the qualities of your devotees. And it is not fault. It's not a fault. It's not fault that Arjuna has all of them and is exhibiting them. Then why is it mentioned here that the intelligence was polluted? If it is true, his intelligence would not be polluted at any time, because he was a devotee and constant companion of the Lord, as it is clear in the 4th chapter of the Gita. Apparently, Arjuna's intelligence became polluted because otherwise there would not have been a chance to deliver the teachings of Bhagavad Gita for the good of all polluted conditioned souls engaged in material bondage by the conception of the false material body. This is the point. This is the point. So Arjuna's so-called polluted intelligence was actually not that he's polluted. It is just that he is playing the part of a conditioned soul so that Krishna will teach conditioned souls the lessons we need to learn, the lessons we need to know, so that we can become what? Disentangled from the material existence. This is the lesson. The Bhagavad Gita was delivered to the conditioned souls of the world to deliver them from the wrong conception of identifying the body with the soul and to re-establish the soul's eternal relation with the Supreme Lord, Atma Vidya, or transcendental knowledge of himself, was primarily spoken by the Lord for the benefit of all conditions, all concerned in all parts of the universe. This is the universal teaching of Krishna for all conditioned souls. And Arjuna is our savior. Arjuna is our savior. That he was so kind that he has to put himself in our shoes, so that Krishna the knowledge which we need to become successful, to transcend the material existence and be reinstated in our original and eternal constitutional position as eternal servant of Krishna, who will faithfully and lovingly serve the Krishna with all our heart, all our intelligence, all our mind, all our senses, and everything within us. So you also remember that Arjuna was called Buddha case, one who has conquered ignorance. Not before Arjuna dropped his weapon and became bewildered. It was after this Arjuna became bewildered. Arjuna was already declared in Bhagavad Gita as the one who has conquered ignorance, one who has conquered sleep. How is it that the person who has conquered sleep, conquered ignorance, is now a transcendentally becoming confused and bewildered? It's because Krishna wanted that so he can teach. Just like Lord Krishna wanted to teach us something by glorifying Bhishmadev, and he used Yudhishthira Maharaj to do that. So Yudhishthira was never convinced until Bhishmadev had to teach. So this is the nature of pure devotee. They are always for our welfare, for our own good. So let us take advantage of the teachings or the mercy of the pure devotees of Krishna and Krishna himself to benefit ourselves by strictly following this process. And we'll do ourselves good and do others also good, which is the aim of the human form of life, the purpose of the human form of life. Text 37. Fulfilling my desire and sacrificing his own promise, he got down from the chariot, took up each wheel, and ran towards me hurriedly, just as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He even dropped his outer garment on the wheel. Lord Krishna has played a part of a true friend. A true friend is one who is there for the friend at all times, especially at the most crucial time. Either when a person is attacked by deadly weapons or deadly disease or bankrupt, or whatever. When a person is in a very precarious situation, a true friend is one who is always there and is ready to do whatever is needed to save the friend. That is a true friend. And that is Krishna's nature. So in the Mahabharata, one day Dhira insulted Bhishmadev. The proper saying of purpose. A Kshatriya cannot tolerate insults on the principle of fighting. Bhishmadev therefore promised that the next day he would kill all 5 Pandavas with special weapons made for the purpose. Dhira insulted Bhishmadev. I know that you have a strong aversion, incredible affection for the Pandavas, and that you had carried it onto the battlefield. That is why you are not able to kill the Pandavas till today. How many days you have been fighting, and you are doing nothing to them? That is the love we have for them. This man says, I'm fighting. He said, yes, you are fighting. You are fighting is that the Pandavas are still alive. That is our fighting. The war will continue as long as the Pandavas are alive. Because the whole thing, they are the target. So, I probably mentioned here, Kshatriya doesn't tolerate insults. So he said, okay, by tomorrow, this is 5 special arrows are meant for the 5 planets. Tomorrow will be their last day in this lifetime. Dhira was so impudent, so insulting, so impudent. So he told the Bhishmadev, give me the arrows. I know you have a feeling lovely feeling for the planet. Give me the arrows. I will keep it and I will deliver them to you tomorrow to remind you that this is what you promised to do. And I will see how you do it. Give me the arrows. He didn't know that he's a fool. So this one they gave him the arrows. This one they gave him the arrows. As soon as Dhira took the arrows to his camp, Krishna came to it was already late in the night. The war has finished, the fighting has finished for that day. Krishna came to Arjuna, hey, Partha, wake up. Today is your best day. As you say, best day, what is the day? The fighting has finished today. Why is it the best day? Krishna said, you remember when you saved Dhira and he was so happy that he promised to give you 2 boons? Say, yes, I remember. Have you asked him for it? He said, no, I have not asked. Now you go to him. Now you should go to him. Tell him that the boon you want from him is that he will give you the 5 arrows he's keeping. Arjuna did not know this. It's only Krishna who knew what has happened, what was going on. So now you go. See how Krishna is protecting his devotees. Let us see how Krishna is protecting his devotees. Arjuna did not know what has happened. He didn't know the plan that was going on. But Krishna knew completely. Now he came to Arjuna and Krishna told Arjuna, now you go. And not that he told Arjuna to, Krishna waited for Arjuna to go and bring the arrow before himself went to sleep. So Arjuna went. The Prophet mentioned. Dhira was satisfied and he kept the arrows with him to be delivered the next day during the fight. By tricks, Arjuna took the arrows from Dhira, and Bhishmadev could understand that this was the trick of Krishna. So he took a vow that the next day Krishna would have to take up weapons himself. Otherwise, his friend Arjuna would die. So Arjuna went to Dhira. Dhira saw Arjuna and said, Partha. Yes. What do you want? Want me to stop the war? So you can get the kingdom? No. What do you want? You promised me a boon before. I said, yes, I remember. Can you give it to me today? Yeah, whatever you ask me. You ask me whatever you want. Arjuna said, please, I need those 5 arrows. I need the 5 arrows you are keeping. Immediately, this is the beauty of Vedic culture. Immediately, Dhira didn't say, oh, can you ask me for something? Oh, I forgot I gave you such a promise. I forgot. I can't remember I gave you such a promise. When was that? When? Dhira did not do that immediately. Without any second thought, without any remorse, he didn't feel bad. He delivered the arrows happily to Arjuna. Arjuna took the arrows from him So good night. See you tomorrow. So he turned to his camp and he delivered the arrows to Krishna. And Krishna took them. It's okay. Now you can go and sleep. Now you can go and sleep. So Arjuna went to sleep. And Krishna went to his own room. So the next day, the battle was to begin. Anyway, before we continue, let me ask you, how were the soldiers eating on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? How were they eating? Chitra Ketu Putra, how were the soldiers eating on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Were they eating or not? Were they fasting for the 18 days? Were they fasting or were they eating? How were they eating? The wives are not there. The servants are not there. Only fighting soldiers are there. How were they eating? Did you hear my question? Did you hear my question?
No, Maharaj.
Your mic is not good. Can you make it like the other day? Very sharp and clear.
Okay.
Yes, tell me.
Maharaj,
I think now.
yeah, they were eating. I believe they were eating. So, and
You were the one cooking for them. Who was cooking for them? Were you the one cooking for them? Who was cooking for them?
no, soldiers. Among soldiers, they were because they are short. They have to dress. They have to dress because they are kings and they will be used to cooking.
They were all fighters.
Yeah. So when
Thank you. Thank you. All of them were fasting. They were not eating for 18 days. Lord Krishna just make all of them satisfied by not eating, by his mystic power. Madhavan Prabhu, how was it?
Well, I think like they were fighting, there are rules and regulations. So they used to have break. So during that break, they go home, their wife bring food for them.
Their wife is kilometers away from Hastinapur, to Haryana, Kurukshetra, is 3 hours by road. 3 hours by road. So their wife will from here to go and cook for them in Benin City and come back. What's the break we were having? The break is only in the night. They fight the whole day. Only break is in the night. 6 o'clock they close. Anyway,
okay.
We were not thinking about it before, so that's why now you think about it. Ram Prakash, how were they eating? Kshetra. For the 18 days. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
It was a young year. They were not eating.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
A song was blown by everyone. It was just like a arti, holy war.
All right. Very good. Thank you. Thank you. They were eating for the 18 days. They were eating from Udupi. The king from Udupi was cooking. He didn't participate in fighting. So he told Krishna, he came to me, Lord Krishna, he said, my dear Lord Krishna, I didn't come to fight. Because this I don't like this kind of fight. It's just one family fighting, two brothers are fighting. I don't want to participate. So if you give me permission, I'll be cooking for them. I'm not going to fight. So Krishna said, okay, you go and cook. So he was cooking for them for the 18 days. And there were no excess prasada, because Lord Krishna was counting the number of people who left that day and the remaining people for him. So he was cooking accurately for all those who were still alive. Not that he was mistaking and cooking, and then at the end the excess prasadam for those who died. There were no excess prasadam for those who died. He cooked only for those who remain alive. So that means that we're reducing every day till the last day. And what happened? So anyway, now we're back to our story. So the next morning, the battle began immediately. Bhishmadev, he told Dhira, now give me the arrows. I want to start my business for today. Dhira couldn't look at his face. He said, give me the arrows. What's the problem? Give me the arrows you took from me yesterday. Now I want to start. So Dhira said, no, I don't have the arrows. What happened? Arjun came to collect the arrow from me last night. So Bhishmadev, so now I know what happened. It is Krishna who did this. Krishna broke my promise, so I have to break his own promise also. I'll make him take up the weapon. So in the next day's fighting, Bhishmadev fought so violently that both Arjuna and Krishna were in trouble. Arjuna was almost defeated. The situation was so tense that he was about to be killed by Bhishmadev. The very next moment, at that time, Lord Krishna wanted to please his devotee Bhishma by keeping Bhishma's promise, which was more important than his own. Seemingly, he broke his own promise. He promised before the beginning of the Battle of Kurukshetra that he would remain without weapons. I will not use his strength for either of the parties. But to protect Arjuna, he got down from the chariot, took up the wheel of the chariot, and hurriedly rushed at Bhishmadev in an angry mood, as a lion goes to kill an elephant. He dropped his covering cloth on the way, and out of great anger, he did not know that he had dropped it. Bhishmadev at once gave up his weapons and stood to be killed by Krishna, his beloved Lord. The fighting of the day was thus ended at the very moment, and Arjuna was saved. Of course, there was no possibility of Arjuna's death because the Lord himself was on the chariot. But because Bhishmadev wanted to see Lord Krishna take up some weapon to save his friend, the Lord created this situation, making Arjuna's death imminent. he stood before Bhishmadev to show him that his promise was fulfilled and that he had taken up the wheel. So Krishna is ready to do anything to protect his devotees. To satisfy his devotee, Krishna can do anything. Krishna prefers to keep his devotees' promise than to keep his own promise. As Krishna's special mercy for the devotees. So Bhishmadev fought severely. It was really tense. Arjuna was completely bewildered by the fighting of Bhishmadev. Everybody was in a tense situation. When Krishna saw the danger that the next moment his friend Arjuna is going to be killed, Krishna jumped down from the chariot, took up the wheel of the broken chariot, and ran swiftly towards Bhishmadev. Because that is what he wanted to see. Bhishmadev, he was not fighting to kill Arjuna. He was fighting to attract the attention of Krishna. So when Krishna jumped down, Arjuna tried to stop him, but Krishna didn't give him attention because he knew that Arjuna did not know what is happening. So he knew everything at the Supreme Personality. Therefore, he didn't care for Arjuna stopping him. He didn't even notice that his child had fallen. But his concern was how to prepare him to it. Text 38. The heel of Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead, who awards salvation, be my intimate destination, ultimate destination. On the battlefield, he charged me as if angry because of the wounds dealt by my sharp arrows. His shield was shattered, and his body was smeared with blood due to the wounds caused by my arrows. The proper is speaking in the purport. The outstanding feature of such dealing is that a devotee can please the Lord by playing the part of him. The outstanding feature of dealings is that a devotee sorry. I'm switching over again. Because of my network being unsteady. Yes, I was asking for example of devotees acting as Krishna's enemy. We have any in history? of devotees acting as the Lord's enemy. Anyone can remember? As what Prabhupada mentioned here, the astounding feature of such a dealing is that a devotee can please the Lord by playing the part of an enemy. Devotee can please the Lord by playing the part of an enemy. I was asking if you have any example. Do we have? Anyone can remember? Yes, some Prakash.
Good.
You're muted. You are muted.
Yes, Maharaj. Hiranyakasipu and Hiranyaks.
Right, thank you. Hiranyakasipu, Hiranyaksh. They the Lord's devotees in Vaikuntha. So they became very powerful demons. Very good, thank you. Anyone else? Yes, Madhavan.
What about Vritrasura, who wanted to kill Indra? He was a demon, but he acted like he was a devotee also, a Brahmana.
All right, thank you very much. Vritrasura. Vritrasura is Chitraketu Maharaj. So he's a devotee. Thank you. That's good. Anyone else remember? Any? Yes. Jyoti Swarup. Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, from the topic even we are reading from this text is saying that even though Bhishma Pitama is a devotee, but still he is acting as an enemy of Krishna in the Kurukshetra. So Bhishma Pitama.
So Bhishma Dev himself, a devotee, acted like Krishna's enemy. Very good, very good. Thank you. What else? Anyone else remember? Someone else? Yeah, we have Bhishma Dev, we have Hiranyaksha, Hiranyakasipu. Yeah, we have, again was mentioned. Two? You remember anyone else acted as a devotee acting as Krishna's enemy? A demon? Sankachuda, you forgotten Sankachuda. Sankachuda is a Sudama of the cowhead boy of Krishna in Goloka. Sankachuda became the husband of Tulsi Devi. So he acted like that. So it is true. So that's why Prabhupada said it's astounding, the astounding feature of such dealings that a devotee can please the Lord by laying the part of an enemy. So it is not all people who acted inimically towards Krishna that are actually demons. some were acting. Yes. These are some of the transcendental reciprocatory dealings of the devotee with the Lord. And those who have no information of pure devotional service cannot penetrate into the mystery of such dealings. Bhishmadev played a part of a valiant warrior, and he purposely pierced the body of the Lord so that to the common eyes, it appeared that the Lord was wounded. But factually, all this was to bewilder the non-devotees. How can the body of the Lord be pierced? What? Who can pierce the body of the Lord? Who has the power to do that? His body is not material. Krishna's body is not material. Krishna's body is completely spiritual. How can the Lord's body be pierced? By what weapon? Who can do that? Because Krishna wanted to bewilder the demon, the non-devotees, he used his devotee Bhishmadev to satisfy that desire. So Bhishmadev is glorified yesterday as even greater than this yesterday because of his exalted qualities. And we said it is because of our spiritual qualities, spiritual relationship with Krishna that makes one exceptionally different. So Lord Krishna does not have a body that can be pierced by anyone. Never. But it happened in the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Lord Krishna has no blood in his body. He has no vein according to Ishopanishad. Krishna has no vein. He has no bone. He has no blood. So who can pierce such a body? With what? Which weapon? But it does happen at the Kurukshetra war so that the demons will be defeated. So Prabhupada said, it is only the devotees that can discern this. Non-devotee cannot. The all spiritual body cannot be wounded, and the devotee cannot become the enemy of the Lord. Had it been so, Bhishmadev would not have desire to have the very same Lord as the ultimate destination of his life. Yes, if Lord Krishna is an enemy, and Bhishmadev, they are all inimical towards each other. Who would like his enemy to come and visit you at the hospital? Eh? Who would like his enemy to come and visit you at the hospital? Or even visit you at your birthday? Would they like our well-wishers, our good wishers to come for us? Therefore, it was all a display. Krishna is simply making a show to glorify his devotees. Had Bhishmadev been an enemy of the Lord, Lord Krishna could not have annihilated him. Lord Krishna could have annihilated him without even moving. There was no need to come before Bhishmadev with blood and wounds. But he did so because the warrior devotee wanted to see the transcendental body of the Lord decorated with wounds created by a pure devotee. This is the way of exchanging transcendental rasa or relations between the Lord and the servitor. By such dealings, both the Lord and the devotee become glorified in their respective positions, as it is happening now. Bhishmadev is glorified, Lord Krishna is glorified, Arjuna is glorified. The Lord was so angry that Arjuna checked him when he was moving towards Bhishmadev. But in spite of Arjuna's checking, he proceeded towards Bhishmadev as a lover goes to a lover, without caring for hindrances. Apparently, his determination was to kill Bhishmadev, but factually it was to please him as a great devotee of the Lord. The Lord is undoubtedly the deliverer of all conditioned souls. The impersonalists desire salvation from him, and he was And he always awarded them according to their aspiration. But here Bhishmadev aspired to see the Lord in his personal future. All pure devotees aspire for this. All pure devotees aspire for this. In proper use the word here. The Lord, Arjuna tried to check Lord Krishna, but he couldn't succeed in checking Krishna. Krishna proceeded towards Bhishmadev as a lover goes to a lover without caring for hindrances. Yes, when we are looking for something, we don't care what is in the middle. We don't care. When there is love, there's no difficulty. When there is interest for something, there's no difficulty. All challenges will be appropriately met with appropriate means to overcome it and achieve the goal. Therefore, Krishna gave a perfect example. When there is love, nothing can stop the relationship. Nothing can stop the relationship. If there is love. If there is no love, then there's a lot of excuses, a lot of reasons why we shouldn't do it. When we like something, it's not a difficulty. If there are difficulties, we'll find a way to overcome them. But when we don't like something, then we have so many reasons. We can give so many reasons, so many unlimited reasons why we didn't do it, why we shouldn't do it. Oh, the rain is about to fall. Just look at the cloud. The rain is just about to fall. So they don't need for me to go for this message. I have to wait until the rain is over. Why didn't go? Oh, the rain is just about to fall. And that is why I didn't go. But if there is love, if it is our interest, even if the rain is about to fall, we'll look for umbrella and enter the rain. Even if the rain is already falling, we'll look for umbrella. Even if we don't have umbrella, we will borrow and enter the rain because it's something which is very dear. We will not give any excuse. We have every reason to do what we want to do if we like it. If it is not something we want, there are unlimited reasons. All right, let's take a break. After 10 minutes, I'll see you 15 minutes. Pass. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Never be afraid to try. Never be afraid of failure. Great success.
Hello everyone. My name is Ademola Turiola.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, you're welcome.
Hare Krishna. Yes, we are back.
Hare Krishna. You're welcome, Maharaj.
Thank you. Yes, Bhishmadev has showed his deep love for Krishna here. I want to see Lord Krishna. I want to see my Lord. I want to see Mukunda, the giver of liberation. I want to see the love I have prayed for. I want only the person I have prayed for to come before me. So Krishna was going towards Bhishmadev. And Bhishmadev, he stopped fighting. He was, because he had broken his promise to protect his devotee. Now my desire also fulfilled. Bhishma Dev stop fighting. He was not fighting to kill again. He was just fighting for satisfaction. At the same time, he want to Krishna to continue to bewilder those who want to be bewildered and encourage those who want to be encouraged. The devotees who knows that the body of the Lord has no, the body of the Lord has no life. It cannot be pierced. But Bhishma they wanted to see that. And Krishna showed it to him. Even when Arjuna tried to stop him, he couldn't. He didn't succeed in doing that. So he went before Bhishma. 39. At the moment of death, let my ultimate attraction be to Sri Krishna, the personality of Godhead. I concentrate my mind upon the chariot driver of Arjuna, who stood with a whip in his right hand and a bridle rope in his left, who was very careful to give protection to Arjuna's chariot by all means. Those who saw him on the battlefield of Kurukshetra attained the original forms after that. Those who saw Krishna while leaving the body, they attained pure love from God. They went back to the Godhead. A devotee more easily attains samadhi or trance by constantly remembering the Lord's personal future along with his holy name, the fame, pastimes, etc. Therefore, the concentration of the mystic yogi and that of the devotee are not on the same level. The concentration of the mystic is mechanical, whereas that of the pure devotee is natural, in pure love and spontaneous affection. Bhishma was a pure devotee and was a military marshal. He constantly remembered the battlefield future of the Lord as Bharata Sarathi, the chariot driver of Arjuna. Therefore, the Lord's pastime as Bharata Sarathi is also eternal. Amazing. It is also eternal. It is not temporal. Because it is spiritual. It is a spiritual activity. You need to remember Lord Krishna holding the rope of the chariot and the whip in the right hand. Is it ordinary for anyone to remember Krishna? No matter whatever the situation, you want to remember Krishna. That is suspicious. That's a guarantee that one will go back to God. But that's what he promised us about it. We remember him at the time of death, or whatever we remember at the time of death, that we will attain without fail. So, to remember Krishna as a chariot driver of Arjuna, suspicious. So, Prabhupada says it's eternal. This is eternal activity. So, one should not consider this to be ordinary and to run to go and see Lord Krishna and the gopis dancing. That would be premature. The presence of the Lord, beginning from his birth at the prison house of Kamsa up to the Mosala Lila at the end, all move one after another in all the universes, just as the clock hand moves from one point to another. And in such passages, his associates like the Barnabas and Bismarck are constant eternal companions. So Bismarck never forgot the beautiful feature of the Lord as Parata Sarati, which even Arjuna could not see. This pastime we are hearing is not only performed in this planet. It is all over the universe. The same thing. So Bismarck and the Barnabas are always there with Krishna eternally. So far, it is eternal activity of Krishna. It's eternal activity. So therefore, it is easy for Bismarck to remember because it's happening and happening and happening. It is always going like this. So another quality of a Bismarck, which is making him to be superior. Arjuna was having Krishna as his chariot driver. All right. So the driver is always in the front. And the master is at the back. Is it not?
Yes.
And Bismarck is in the front of Krishna. So between Bismarck and Arjuna, who is seeing Krishna face to face? Bismarck and Arjuna, which of them was seeing Krishna face to face?
General Bismarck.
Bismarck was seeing Krishna face to face. Arjuna was behind Krishna. So who is superior? The one who is seeing Krishna constantly, right in the front, or the one behind? Bismarck is in the front, so he's seeing Krishna constantly. Arjuna is behind. He will not see Krishna like Bismarck will see. So Bismarck never forgot the beautiful feature of the Lord as Parata Sarati, which even Arjuna could not see. Arjuna was behind the beautiful Parata Sarati, while Bismarck was just in front of the Lord. As far as the military feature of the Lord is concerned, Bismarck observed this word more relish than Arjuna. It's in the front. All the soldiers and persons of the battlefield of Kurukshetra attain the original spiritual form, like the Lord, after their death, because by the causeless mercy of the Lord, they were able to see him face to face on that occasion. The conditions for rotating in the evolutionary cycle, from the aquatics up to the form of Brahma, are all in the mode of Maya, in the form of Maya, or the form obtained by Maya's own actions and awarded by material nature. But here, the soldiers at the battlefield had the opportunity to see the Lord face to face, to see the Lord while giving up the body. Krishna promised in Bhagavad Gita, whoever remembers him will go back to God. He attend him. So here they remembered him. They saw the Lord while they're dying, and also they were touched by Arjuna's arrows. A spiritual form like the Lord's, either 200 or 400, is attained by the devotees of the Lord, either in the Vaikuntha or in the Goloka planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, a spiritual form like the Lord's, either 200 or 400, is attained by the devotees of the Lord, either in the Vaikunthas or in the Goloka planet, according to the original nature of the soul. This form, which is 100% spiritual, is a Swarupa of the living being. And all the living beings who participated on the battlefield of Kurukshetra on both sides attained their Swarupa, as confirmed by Bhishmadev. So Lord Sri Krishna was not merciful only to the Pandavas. He was also merciful to the other parties because all of them attained the same result. Bhishmadev wanted the same facility also, and that was his prayer to the Lord. Although his position was an associate of the Lord is assured in all circumstances. The conclusion is that whoever dies looking on the personality of God, within or without, attains his Swarupa, which is the highest perfection of life. Very nice. This is very nice. 40. Let my mind be fixed upon Lord Sri Krishna, whose motions and smiles of love attracted the dancers of Rajadam, the gopis. The dancers imitated the characteristic movement of the Lord after his disappearance from the rasa dance. Yes. Bhishmadev, remember, is a great devotee of Krishna. She remembered. So Krishna was dancing with the gopis. If you go to Vrindavan, you will see. You will see the place, the particular place. Krishna was dancing with the gopis under the tree. The tree whose under Krishna was dancing with the gopis and disappeared. It's still there till today, but you never know the root of this tree. The tree is there, but you never know where the root is coming from. That time it was there, that because it was standing under a tree, so the root was there. The trunk of the tree is there. The Krishna disappeared. Srakami Kanapura Goswami gave a detailed explanation what took place. But Krishna disappeared. The gopis, they lamented. Our heart is already donated to Krishna, so we don't have our heart again. We don't have our soul. Everything is for Krishna. So Krishna leaving us means that he has taken us with him. Who is that? Who is that demon or person who have created another soul in this body that we are feeling separation from Krishna? The gopis were thinking like this. We don't have a separate life. Our life is what Krishna. So Krishna disappearing means that he disappeared with our lives. But what is happening? Who has again created another soul for us that we are feeling separation from Krishna? Other gopis said, our jewel, Lord Krishna, the Christ jewel, have been stolen by a very powerful witch who has taken him away to go and enjoy him alone. So is it really true that Krishna disappeared? Is it really true that Krishna actually left us? While they were thinking like this, Krishna appeared. They thought Lord Krishna, but Krishna did not touch them back. They kissed Krishna, Krishna didn't kiss them back. Whatever they did to Krishna, Krishna didn't touch them back. So the gopis were completely mad. And in that madness, they started looking for Krishna. Yogmaya came, seeing the precarious situation of the gopis. She created another form to cover the gopis so that if they fall, they will never get wounded. Because it's a very thick bush. A person in the thick bush, the reeds will not cut their body. Yogmaya covered them up. Externally covered their body up. Krishna Dev remembering everything. Everything. The gopis, however, practically became one with the Lord by attainment of equal footing for the Lord. Vishnu's aspiration to remember the gopis is a prayer to have their mercy also at the last stage of his life. The Lord is satisfied when the Lord is satisfied more when his pure devotees are glorified. And therefore, Bhishmadev has not only glorified the act of Bhakti, his immediate object of attraction, but has also remembered the gopis who were endowed with unrivaled opportunities, rendering loving service to the Lord. The gopis' equality with the Lord should never be misunderstood to be like the Sayujya, liberation of the impersonalist. Equality is one of perfect ecstasy, where the differential conception is completely eradicated for the interest of the lover and the beloved become identical. 41. At the Rajasuya Jagya sacrifice performed by Maharaj Yudhishthira, there was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned scholars. And in that great assembly, Lord Sri Krishna was worshipped by one and all as the most exalted personality of God. This happened during my presence. And I remembered the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord. This is the importance of hearing. This importance of hearing. What is importance? That we will get the object of our hearing, Lord Sri Krishna planted in our heart by constantly thinking about that. So eventually that object will remain fixed in the heart because that is what we are meditating upon. That is what we have been calling all our life. Ultimately, this image of Krishna, Krishna transcendental supreme form, will be manifested in heart. And that is what we are going to remember at the time of death. This is the importance of hearing. The Papa said, so to meditate on the Supreme Lord is to meditate on the activities, form, pastimes, name, and fame of the Lord. That is easier than what is imagined as meditation on the impersonal feature of the Supreme. How would that be a meditation? Meditate on nothing. If it's nothing, then it is nothing, and you are nothing. If you meditate upon nothing, you are nothing. So meditation is upon Krishna. And for that reason, Krishna came and performed innumerable activities. Innumerable activities Krishna performed. Why? Because Krishna wants us to have something to meditate upon. Because by that meditation, we become purified. By that purification, become qualified. With the qualification, go back and back to God, which is the ultimate aim of life. Human life is meant. These pastimes the devotees, however, meditate upon the Lord's factual form and pastimes, and therefore the Lord is easily approachable by the devotees. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 12:9. The Lord is not different from his transcendental activities. It is indicated also in this sloka that Lord Sri Krishna, while actually present before human society, especially in connection with the Battle of Kurukshetra, was accepted as the greatest personality of the time, although he might not have been recognized as the supreme personality of God. Yes, that is there. That one is only done by the fortunate pure devotees. And if you remember, there was an objection from Supa and his company. Supa, they don't agree that Krishna is the supreme personality of God. He may be accepted as a great personality, but not as a supreme personality of God. That is the right of the devotees. Sahadev, Nakula, they openly protested against the demonic statement of Supa, and they said Krishna is the supreme personality of God. He is the supreme personality of God. He is the worshipable personality of God. Right? He is the only person qualified to be worshipped by all, by one and all. And Bhishmadev accepted. The Pandavas, all of them accepted. Why? Because they are pure devotees. The propaganda that a very great man is worshipped as God after his death is misleading, because a man after his death cannot be made into God. I know the qualification for someone to become God. I can die. When you die, you are finished. You are gone. Only the spirit soul remains eternally. And you take in another body, a different situation. Nor can the personality of Godhead be a human being, even when he is personally present. What ideas are misconceptions? The idea of the anthropomorphism cannot be applicable in the case of Krishna. It is not. For Krishna is above. Now I can meditate with the full concentration upon that one Lord, Sri Krishna, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the heart of the mental speculators. He is in everyone's heart. The sun may be perceived differently, but the sun is one. This is Bhishmadev, wonderful understanding, and appreciation of Krishna. The conception of duality is due to ignorance of his inconceivable energy. That's all. It's due to ignorance. Less intelligent persons who are not aware of this fact consider Brahmajyoti and Paramatma to be different from Sri Krishna. This misconception of duality is completely removed from the mind of Bhishmadev, and he is now satisfied that it is Lord Sri Krishna only who is all in everything. So if Bhishmadev is happy, he's satisfied that his life has become perfect. One's life is considered successful if one attains pure love for Krishna. One has a full understanding of Krishna's identity, and our identity was him. And we have re-established that relationship with him. And serving Krishna in that way, that is success in life. That is success. Anything else is a failure. This enlightenment is attained by the great Mahatmas or devotees, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita, that Vasudeva is all in everything, and that there is no existence of anything without Vasudeva. The worshipable object of Bhishmadev is Lord Sri Krishna as Parata Sarati. And that of Gopis is the same Krishna in Vrindavan as the most attractive Shyama Sundar. Sometimes less intelligent scholars make a mistake and think that the Krishna of Vrindavan and that of the battlefield of Kurukshetra are different personalities. But for Bhishmadev, this misconception is completely removed. Even the impersonal subject of destination is Krishna as the impersonal object. And the yogi's destination of Paramatma is also Krishna. Krishna is both Brahmajyoti and localized Paramatma. But in Brahmajyoti or Paramatma, there is no Krishna or smooth relations with Krishna. That is the difference. That is the difference. It is all Krishna because it's all related to Krishna. But the Supreme Personality of God himself is different. And that is only for the devotee. Great Mahatmas like Bhishmadev realize all these different features of Lord Sri Krishna. And therefore they worship of Krishna, knowing him as the origin of all features. Sutta Uvacha. Krishna evam bhagavati manobhagristivi atmanyatmanam adesha swanta satuttarama. Shuddha Goswami said, does Bhishmadev merge himself in the super soul of Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with his mind, with his speech, with his sight, and with his action. And thus he became silent. And his breathing stopped. Bhishmadev ki jai. While Bhishmadev was talking, at the appropriate time, he made himself in the super soul. Lord Sri Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, with his speech, with his mind, with his sight, with his actions. And thus he became silent. And he stopped. So Bhishmadev has attained love of Godhead. The word used here is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, because he made himself into thinking of the Lord and his mind into remembering his different activities. He chanted the glories of the Lord, and by his side, he began to see the Lord personally present before him, and thus all his activities became concentrated upon the Lord without deviation. Not that Bhismadev had become one with Krishna. You see that when you see the word merge, you know that he became one with him in word, in thought, in his mind, his activities. That means that he has fixed himself completely on Krishna without deviation. At the being one with Krishna, in consciousness, in interest, at the being one with Krishna. Not merging at the Mayavadi's thing. A unique situation at Bhismadev's time of death can be attained, even though Krishna may not be personally present. His word of the Bhagavad Gita or those of Srimad Bhagavatam identical with the Lord. They are sound incarnations of the Lord, and one can fully utilize them to be entitled to attain the stage of Shri Bhismadev, who was one of the 8 Vasus. Every man or animal must die at a certain stage of life, but one who dies like Bhismadev attains perfection. And one who dies forced by the laws of nature dies like an animal. That is the difference between a man and animal. The human form of life is especially meant for dying like Bhismadev. We have to live our body like Bhismadev. To live the body like Bhismadev, we have to follow the footsteps of Bhismadev. Bhismadev spent the whole of his life talking, preaching, and performing activities for Krishna. He didn't do anything else. He was completely a focused devotee. Therefore, it was natural that he would petition Lord Krishna to come before him, and Krishna obliged, because that is the dealing between devotee and Krishna. Knowing that Bhismadev had merged into the unlimited eternity of the Supreme Absolute, all present day became silent like the birds at the end of the day. The Lord is served by all his parts and parcels, as a complete machine is served by each part and parcel. Any part of the machine removed from the whole is no longer important. Bhismadev as a devotee, as a pure devotee of the Lord, entered the spiritual realm in one of the Vaikuntha planets, where the Lord, in his eternal form of Parachasarati, predominates over the unconditioned living beings, who are constantly engaged in the service of the Lord. The love and affection which bind the Lord and devotee are exhibited in the case of Bhismadev. Bhismadev never forgot the Lord in his transcendental future as the Parachasarati. And the Lord was present personally before Bhismadev while he was passing to the transcendental world. That is the highest perfection of life. Should go for this. Thereafter, both men and demigods sounded drums in honor, and the Honest Royal Order commenced demonstrations of honor and respect. And from the sky fell flowers, showers of flowers. Bhismadev was respected both by human beings and by the demigods. The human beings live on Earth and similar other planets in the Bhu and Buddha group of planets. But the demigod lives in the Swa or heavenly planet. And all of them knew Bhismadev as a great warrior and devotee of the Lord. As a Mahajan authority, he was on the level of Brahma, Narada, and Shiva, although he was a human being. Qualification of a power with the great demigod is possible only on attainment to spiritual perfection. That's all. Bhishmadev was known all over the universe. All over the universe, Bhishmadev. You know the small man. You know the small man. All over the universe. And during his time, interplanetary travel was affected by finer method than the futile endeavors of mechanical spacecraft. This showering of flowers from heaven is a sign of recognition by great demigods, and it should never be compared to the decoration of a dead body. The body of Bhishmadev lost its material effect due to being surcharged with spiritual realization. And thus the body was spiritualized as when iron becomes red hot when in contact with fire. That is the nature of Krishna consciousness. Everything that comes in contact with Krishna will be transformed. The respect and recognition of Bhishmadev are never to be imitated by artificial means, as it had become a fashion to observe so-called Jayanti ceremony for any and every common man. According to authorized Shastras, such a Jayanti ceremony for an ordinary man, however exalted he may be, materially, is an offense to the Lord, because Jayanti is observed the day when the Lord appears on the earth. Bhishmadev was unique in his activities, and his passing away to the kingdom of God is also unique. Therefore, his disappearance or appearance is Jayanti. Other people should not imitate, because they are not going to the same destination of Bhishmadev. How can that be Jayanti? Jayanti is victory. One has conquered the material, and now one is going back to God for eternity, not for some time, eternity. That is Jayanti. All the sons of Brigu, Sonaka, after performing funeral rites and rituals for the dead body of Bhishmadev, Maharaj Yudhishthira was momentarily overtaken with grief. That is natural. This is natural. Because Bhishmadev was not only a great family head of Maharaj Yudhishthira, but also he was a great philosopher and friend to him, his brothers and his mother. Since Maharaj Pandu left, the Dhritarashtra couldn't take care. So Bhishmadev was responsible for the protection, the shelter, and the maintenance of the Pandavas. Therefore, it is natural, it is very, very natural that it should feel momentarily a pain of separation from his affectionate grandfather. That is natural, and it should be done. For a spiritual master living the body, disciples should cry. This is very important. Bhishmadev was always a sincerely sympathetic well-wisher, grandfather, friend, and philosopher of Maharaj Yudhishthira. Even up to the last moment of his life, he was still preaching and guiding and directing Yudhishthira Maharaj how he should rule, how he should perform his duty. Bhishmadev preached to the last. That means that he took Yudhishthira Maharaj also from the beginning till the last. How can one forget such a well-wisher? Bhishmadev died very happily by seeing Maharaj Yudhishthira to the throne. Otherwise, he would have long ago quitted his material body, instead of suffering agony over the undue sufferings of the Pandavas. He was simply waiting for the opportune moment, because he was sure and certain that the sons of Pandu would come out victorious in the battle of Kurukshetra, as his Lord, as his Lord Sri Krishna was their protector. He was certain about it. So he was waiting until Yudhishthira Maharaj attained the position. Then he know that now I can go because I have somebody to represent me. Now I can happily go because I have somebody to represent me. This is the desire of every responsible leader. All the great sages then glorified Lord Sri Krishna, who was present there, by confidential Vedic hymns. Then all of them returned to their respective images, bearing always for Krishna within their hearts. Thereafter, Maharaj Yudhishthira at once went to his capital, Hastinapur, accompanied by Lord Sri Krishna. And there he consoled his uncle and aunt Gandhari, who was an ascetic. After this, the great religious king, Maharaj Yudhishthira, executed the royal power in the kingdom strictly according to the codes and royal principles approved by his uncle Vishnu and confirmed by Lord Sri Krishna, the supreme personality of God. Maharaj Yudhishthira was not a mere tax collector. He was not trained like that. He was perfectly and properly trained by General Vishnu. He was always conscious of his duty as a king, which is no less than that of the father or spiritual master. The king is to see to the welfare of the citizens from all angles of social, political, economic, and spiritual upliftment. The king must know that human life is meant for liberating the encaged soul from the bondage of material conditions. And therefore, his duty is to see that the citizens are properly looked after to attain this higher stage of perfection. Maharaj Yudhishthira followed these principles strictly, as will be seen from the next chapter. Not only did he follow the principles, but he also got approval from his own uncle, who was experienced in political affairs. That was also confirmed by Lord Krishna, the speaker of the philosophy of our religion. Maharaj Yudhishthira is the ideal monarch, and monarchy under a trained king like Maharaj Yudhishthira, by far most superior form of government, superior to modern republics of government by the people. The government of the people by the people, that is Sudra government. But Yudhishthira Maharaj did not have a Sudra government. He has a perfect government. So he maintained a perfect and scientific governance. The mass of people, especially in this age of Kali, are all born Sudra, basically low-born, ill-trained, unfortunate, and badly associated. They themselves do not know the highest professional aim of life. Therefore, votes cast by them actually have no value. And those persons elected by such irresponsible votes cannot be responsible representatives like this one. Thus end the battle done the purpose of the first canto, 90th chapter, for the Srimad Bhagavatam entitled The Passing Away of General Bhishma Dev in the presence of Lord Sri Krishna. Srimad Bhagavatam Jai. Srimad Sri Bhishma Dev Ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna. Yeah, thank you very much, Maharaj, for the wonderful presentation and class today. So we appreciate your. I will request all of the devotees to please kindly unmute. Let us loudly chant Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Madhuram Prabhu's hand is up. You want to ask a question or?
Yes, I want to ask a question, a comment. Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much for this very wonderful lecture. I just want to, the last statement, that therefore both cast by them actually have no value. And thus, persons selected by such irresponsible votes cannot be a responsible representative like Maharaj Yudhishthira. I think this happened in Nigeria also. This is our democracy we are practicing. At this stage, people are so much degraded to such that during the election time or the day, or if people are not giving either 200 naira or 500 naira, they will not vote. And once they are given the money, then they just vote any responsible somebody. So I think this applies to what is happening now. That people are so less intelligent, and of course, they cannot choose a good leader for themselves. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, thank you.
So now we request all of the devotees to please kindly unmute themselves and let us loudly chanting a full Maha mantra. To appreciate Maharaj. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Rama Hare Hare.
Chakarpataruvyascha, Kripa Sindhuvyascha, Patitanam Pavashnebhyo, Vaishnavibhyo Namo. His Holiness Bhakti Dhira Damodara Swami Maharaj ki Jai.
Why always you meet us? Hare Krishna.